has literally been hidden from Congress's oversight role for 9 months, and so we're at the point where the frustration has reached a level that we've got to deal with it. So, issuing subpoenas to compel people to come in and testify. Some of them who really, I think, want to testify, want to make sure that we clean this up, will be actually forthcoming in days, where we'll get them to come in.
House Freedom Caucus Chairman Mark Meadows promising subpoenas. Yeah, they're going to be forthcoming. Why? To compel individuals to testify over their involvement in the probe into the Russian election interference. Here with reaction, author of Why We Fight, Recovering America's Will to Win, Dr. Sebastian Gorka, Fox News contributor Sara Carter. Sara, this is your story about the fight and what is now appears now to be contempt of Congress, followed by an impeachment, at least being filed against Rod Rosenstein. Are they going to do it? Because threats aren't going to work anymore.
Threats aren't going to work anymore, and they need to take this seriously. They've said over and over again, Sean, both Meadows, Jordan, and others, that they're going to take this to the floor and they're going to file those impeachment papers. But remember, Rod Rosenstein is willing to go forward with this fight, and he is going to try to fight them all the way to the end. So they've got to be very serious about this.
He wants them to sue. Congress should not sue, because it's sort of like, Fast and Furious is going to get lost in the court system, and Rosenstein knows it. So they should do what they do to you and Dr. Gorka and me, and that's hold him in contempt, maybe put him in, a jail cell for 10 days to make him, let's see, they're going to put the screws to him like they do Manafort, who is now in solitary, like he's a mob killer, and then maybe he'll sing so they can then, quote, either impeach or prosecute Trump. Maybe we should use the same tactics against Rosenstein that Mueller's using against the other people.
That he would use against any American that was withholding information from the FBI. But I don't know if that's going to happen. They need to have enough members of Congress really backing this and really pushing this forward. And this is why those subpoenas are so important, why it's so important to get those FBI, those people in the Bureau, those people in the DOJ who want to talk, to come out and tell the American public the truth about what went on.
My sources tell me that there were at least 4 criminal referrals here, probably more, and that the person in the most trouble tonight who doesn't know it is actually James Comey. Dr. Gorka.
Well, it's very, very interesting. Remember, Rod Rosenstein is very, very close friends with Comey, with Mueller, with all these individuals. And this is a man who called congressional oversight over the Department of Justice extortion. This individual is a swamp dweller. This individual is all about the survival of himself and the Obama cronies that were stuffed into the DOJ. This individual is now a rogue agent inside the DOJ, and Congress should start to exercise its fully mandated oversight powers.
The fact that Rod Rosenstein, Sarah, thinks that he and one of his little apparently well-known temper tantrums, apparently he's got a vicious, vile temper, people that have seen it have told me, threatens Congress with, we're going to use the power of the DOJ and we're going to subpoena your emails, we're going to go after you. If that's not abuse of power, I don't know what is. Why is he still there?
Well, you're right. And he doesn't just threaten members of Congress. These are people who can handle it and can punch back and fight back. He threatens the investigators, the people that are behind the scenes, the people that are actually doing these investigations, the ones that he does not want to have access to these documents. He's done it to a number of them. Some of them have been publicly named in stories.
Well, they're going to now subpoena your emails? Are they going to kind of bang on my door? Is Rod Rosenstein doesn't like what we say? He doesn't like the Congress is doing their constitutional duty, so now he's going to threaten them? Well, what's next? Are we going to be a country anymore? Or are we going to be a constitutional republic anymore? Dr. Gorka.
Rod Rosenstein has facilitated the subversion and the sabotaging of rule of law in the United States.
He's a bully.
If he doesn't stop.
He's
he's a bully as well,
to bully
worse,
Congress from doing their job.
But worse than that, worse than being a bully, there are lots of bullies out there. We now know, thanks to the IG report, thanks to the work of Sarah, of you, that the Department of Justice is a political entity, that Obama turned it into a political police force and the FBI followed suit.
It's like a
that
secret police.
Has to be
You're
fixed.
Right. Let me ask this, Sarah.
Rosenstein is part of the problem.
Is Congress going to vote up or down to end the witch hunt? Because that's now making its way through Congress, because I think they need to do it like yesterday.
I agree with you, Sean. And I think now that we know that at least three of the people that were on Mueller's special counsel were removed for extraordinary bias. Kleinsmith, who was named by Meadows, apparently was just removed in February. We know Peter Strzok was extraordinarily biased, and right now Horowitz is actually investigating his role in the Russia investigation.
In other words, it was illegitimate from day one.
Yeah, fruit from the poisonous tree, Sean. I mean, this is what attorneys look at all times. So there needs to be something done.
Thank you both.
This is a Fox News alert. President Trump declassifying key FISA documents related to the Russia investigation. The president also authorizing the release of text messages from James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and Bruce Orr. The exact release date is not yet known, but Jesse, it sounds like we're going to get to read all those texts. My goodness, and even James Comey in there too.
Yeah, I'm going to have to put down fear and pick up the texts. So, I mean, this has been a long time coming, and people have been asking the president to do this for almost a year. And I'm glad he's doing it before the midterms, because it is going to have a huge political impact. Right now, looks like the Democrats have a very good shot at retaking the House. If this all comes out and people can see that a lot of what's been going on in terms of surveillance and the special counsel was rigged from the jump, and people were corrupt at the very highest levels when it came to political persecution and things that should never have been done. And I think people are going to take a very hard look at that and say, you know what? I'm able to discount a lot of the drama and a lot of the court filings and things like that and the investigations, and that's important for the American people to see.
How quickly do you think, Dana, the American people will be able to see it? Like, what's the process?
Well, because this that people have been asking, not just people, but like the Wall Street Journal editorial board, like, why don't we just release these documents? This has been going back for about a year. It could be that the Justice Department and the FBI and the White House are all comfortable with these being released momentarily, but it might take them a day or two just to figure out if they need any other sources to be dealt with. I also wonder if this is a sign that things are starting to wrap up, because now you have Manafort's plea, you have there's movement, and to me this feels like another way to try to wrap this up.
Greg, do you think the president knows or has any inkling what exactly is in there? I mean, I think we all are somewhat suspicious given what we have seen, but why is he doing this?
Well, I spoke to him this morning at length over at the omelet station at Applebee's, and he told me, we'll wait and see what happens. I can't say much else. My mic came up.
Best show on earth.
But the one big story is the story that didn't happen, which is the collusion story. I mean, if you look at the book Fear, was there anything in there? But he couldn't find it. He tried. It was like the worst Easter egg hunt ever.
No, but he also defends President Trump in the book, and he did at the time too.
So the latest Page Strzok text revealed that there was no evidence of collusion at the time they handed the thing off to the special counsel.
Could this collusion investigation be the biggest scandal in the history of mankind?
I thought you were going to say witch hunt.
We're on the wild goose chase for 2 years. Everybody should be arrested. Including Juan Williams. I'm pressing charges against that tie.
You don't like it?
I'm not sure I do.
No, you hurt my feelings. All right. But anyway, I think, like Dana was saying, it could be wrapped up. Also, could be an indication of a flailing president, because people have been asking on the conservative side of the Trump team, right, saying, oh, yeah, Devin Nunes has been the lead cheerleader for this, right, because he thinks it's going to embarrass somebody in the intelligence community. So I think the president was somewhat restrained and saying, hey, listen, we can't just throw a FISA warrant out there, because FISA warrants are secret for a reason. But you don't want your enemies to know about your sources. But now, after the Manafort flip, Manafort's going to apparently cooperate with Mueller, And then you have, in addition, I think it's now we're up to like 20-something people who have been either charged or pled guilty to charges brought by Robert Mueller.
No collusion.
I think that you have a president who is desperate.
I don't know. Don't you think
Desperate
that the American
for the truth.
people
Yeah, he's
desperate for
it.
transparency.
Oh, yeah. He's a guy who's never told a lie. I think he set a record the other day.
Well,
Who's counting?
The Washington
I'll tell
Post.
you, Juan, as a
They're
journalist,
credible.
I want to know what caused them to go get that FISA warrant. I mean, other than this dossier, which was funded by political operatives on the other side. I mean, Jesse, I think the American people want to know what really happened. By the way, we deserve to know. Whatever it is, we deserve to know.
Listen, if it comes out that the dossier made up 90% of this warrant application, and that's all they had, then that's a huge scandal. And if more text messages come out from Bruce Orr and McCabe and Strzok and Page that show this thing started on the left with the Clinton team and then was funneled backdoor through the DOJ and into the FBI, and at the end of the day, they really had nothing hard to go on with any collusion, it looks like a huge hit piece against the Trump campaign, illegal hit piece, and then it looks like a big cover-up for the last year and a half.
How do you guys feel about that football player quitting at halftime?
I think it was really bad sportsmanship.
Because they were losing.
I know. That's
You don't quit when you're losing.
No, you always quit when you're ahead.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm out of here. I'm ahead. I'm gone.
Not yet. We got one more thing coming up next. But yeah, I'm with you. You don't quit midstream.
Your healthy radio addiction starts now.
Power to the people!
The Laura Ingraham Show.
They can't stop me now. The tide is turning. I'm gonna make you proud. We have the best economy that the United States has ever had. Democrats are openly encouraging millions of illegal aliens to break our laws. A vote for Republicans is a vote to protect your families, to keep America's economic boom going full speed ahead.
It is midnight in America in Trump's campaign rallies. He is counting on fear and loathing to rally his base. It is a gamble. The gamble here is that they need to get Republicans as energized as clearly the Democrats have been. But the gamble here is he alienating those independent and moderate voters in the suburban districts where the battleground for the House will be fought.
You're listening to the Laura Ingraham Show, 855-40-LAURA. The so-called objective media have been absolutely appalling in the closing days of this campaign. The Washington Post front page, or at least their lead article, I tweeted out this morning, basically just saying, if you vote for Trump, you're a racist. So voting for Trump is the equivalent of just... I mean, they're basically saying it's equivalent of lighting a cross and burning a cross on someone's lawn. That's the level of reporting we've seen, because Donald Trump believes that securing our borders matters. He doesn't want cop killers to be in the United States who are illegal immigrants. He wants our economic engine to keep going. Donald Trump's a hater, and worse. This is all they have. This is what the race card is, all they have in an era of peace and prosperity.
Sign me up in the category of the people who think he's racist. He has said so many racist things.
When you don't want to talk
so
policy, you call him a racist. It's the scarlet R now.
The Central Park Five.
We gotta go.
We'll take it up again after the election. Central Park 5. Mexicans are racists, are criminals and rapists. He is a racist pig.
The fact that woman stays on TV saying that. What's her claim to fame, by the way? What's Ana Navarro's claim to fame? Her claim to fame, her big knowledge. By the way, she tried that in 2016. That same line, it didn't work. Okay. Her claim to fame is she's friends with Jeb Bush and, she's a prominent person in Miami. But again, she just says the most outrageous things, and these networks keep inviting her on. She just stays on. Doesn't matter. Ana Navarro has zero expertise in delivering solutions for America. She has one note and she sings it all day long. Racist, 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 racist. Oh, sorry. Anti-Hispanic, anti-Latino, anti-Hispanic, anti-Latino, racist, 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 racist. That's all she has. Doesn't know any issues. These are the kind of people they put on TV. Never done anything in their lives that merit giving political analysis on anything. Actually, would rather hear from someone like LeBron James than Ana Navarro. At least LeBron James can be entertaining. I mean, Ana Navarro is both rude and pejorative and not entertaining. So I say bring it on, LeBron James. All right, a lot of people are calling in, having attended Trump's rallies. The left is saying Trump is a drag, perhaps, on the ticket. And going in, they have a generic lead in some of these polls of close to 10%. The generic ballot, Republican versus Democrat, is not all that useful in predicting outcome. But right now, the RCP average, Real Clear Politics average, is Democrats up 7.3%. Rasmussen has Republicans up 1%. CNN has Democrats up 13%. 13 points. But most of them have the Democrats up. Well, I also think people are putting unrealistic expectations on Trump. The party in power always loses seats except for after 9/11. I mean, it's really hard to maintain your majority as the party in power. It's just very difficult. But does Donald Trump carry this party on his back? I can't imagine Paul Ryan doing this many rallies and closing the lead. I mean, closing the gap, Republicans to Democrats. I mean, Ryan has been out there, I guess, on the stump, but who goes to see him? They're all going to see Trump. They want America protected. They want the economy going. They want the future. People are not buying into this constant race baiting. Now they're saying, by the way, the Cleveland Browns coach firing a week ago, they shouldn't have fired him, even though he had a 3-36 record. That they shouldn't have fired him because of the race issue, because he's the African American coach, NFL coach. So they shouldn't have fired him. That's how bad things have gotten in the country. By the way, Alabama could beat the Cleveland Browns right now. No doubt about it. Alabama would steamroll. I'm going to the Mississippi State game this weekend. At the beginning of the season, I thought Mississippi State would be a better game, but I thought all of them would be. I mean, Alabama is just rolling over. I think it's the best team. Could be the best team they've ever had.
Can I say I got to watch some of that LSU game? Everyone thought it was going to be so tight. And it wasn't even close. It was the first game he played in the fourth quarter this season, which I guess means it was kind of hard. But, I mean,
it was 29, 28,
29, yep,
29-0. How about Tua goes in for this run touchdown? The guy he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks ever in the NFL. Mark my words. God bless him if he doesn't get injured. He's going to go down as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. The Alabama quarterback, who's a true sophomore, by the way. Unbelievable kid. I've never seen a quarterback this young with this much situational awareness on the field. Never seen it. But God, did he run fast. I couldn't believe it. He ran for that touchdown. I left the room for a second. I come back and I'm like, oh my word, this is awesome. I managed to watch some of it. A bunch of us were going out to dinner in Arizona, but I managed to catch some of it. It was awesome. Anyway, the fam is going. We're all going to Tuscaloosa for the Mississippi State game, so I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a lot more fun if the Republicans pull out a miracle and win and keep the House, or at least keep the margin pretty tight. That would be nice. But I think Trump's going to, without a doubt, they're going to pick up some Senate seats. What? Okay, how much would you pay just to see the faces on MSNBC if once again these pollsters are wrong and Republicans are able to hold the House? Now, I think it's probably going to be tough for the Republicans to hold the House. I don't discount the possibility. But it would be It would be just a dream to see the faces and hear the reactions that we heard in 2016.
Our democracy is fragile right now. There's no guarantee that it'll be here in 2 years or 4 years. This is our really, perhaps could be our last moment to act. Don't give up that moment.
Michael Moore. Bill Maher. We got to get the Bill Maher, though, from this weekend. The Bill Maher had me in tears. I mean, now they're so unhinged. It is my comedic relief. And yes, I'm going to talk about the Saturday Night Live attempt to do my voice. Because last time I checked, I didn't talk like this. But for some reason, Kate McKinnon does my voice like this. You're going to have to watch me tonight on the Ingram Angle, though. I will be doing Kate's impression of me. That's all I'm saying. I will be doing Kate's impression of me. It was a big honor to the show, though, to be the lead on SNL. That means when you're really getting under their skin when you're the lead skit. But you know what I think what happened? I think Baldwin was supposed to do it. And then he got that little parking dust up. The peaceful, intolerant, liberal Alec Baldwin got in that parking dust up, got thrown in jail, and so they had to find something to slot in there at the top of the show. That's what I think happened. Oh, no, he's a piece of work. So we'll get into all that. But I think Trump's carrying this whole party on his back. I really do. There's just, don't you notice when you watch some of these other Republicans, and I'm not all of them, we're going to have Pete Sessions on next. He's awesome. Texas 32nd Congressional District. Pete is fantastic. But when you watch some of these Republicans, you know what I think? Haven't you learned anything from Trump? You got to take it up a notch. You got to be a fighter out there because you're up against a wildly unfair dynamic in the media. So you got to take it up a notch. And by the way, I will predict that Martha McSally will win in Arizona. She's going to beat that Lunatron Kirsten Sinema. That was my sense on the ground. When I was so I went to the ASU game.